Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Oneeka Williams. I hope that you have been having a blissful day and that things are not too rocky. I am a healer, positivity catalyst, storyteller, and teacher. And I've been having an awesome time bringing you the Ecosystem series, which is a strategic manifestation of the Williams integrated educational model. And as you probably have already figured out, I wear a lot of hats. I have that scientific, technical part of myself, and then I have the creative part of myself. And so I've been enjoying bringing you the ecosystem, not just from the perspective of showing you some different parts of ecosystem, but actually just using the art to be able to drive the series and make it fun and enjoyable both for myself and for you. And so I hope that you're learning a lot along the way. My philosophy, having been based on how I was raised and how I was educated, is that we live in an ecosystem. We are linked and interdependent in everything that we do. And quite frankly, our educational system also needs to reflect that we bring a holistic and integrated approach that recognizes that learning consists of so many different components. It consists of the academic and intellectual rigor. It consists of the social components. It consists of the emotional components. And it consists of the physical and physiologic components. And what the ecosystem of learning is sought to do is to combine all of those parts, because we recognize that success is not just about what college do you get into, what grades do you get, how much money do you make, but success actually means that there is a balance of the mental, emotional, and physical well-being of ourselves in order to bring our skills, our talents, our gifts to bear in the world in a way that we can make a difference. And so the ecosystem of learning is helping to create those strategies and helping to create that understanding that promotes the integration of all of these components of who we are. And today we are dealing with the E in, well, one of the E's in ecosystem of learning. We are dealing with the E, which is an environment of positivity. So we have gone through multiple of the ecosystem letters up until now. I thank you for all of you who have joined me along the way, and I really hope that you have found these insights to be helpful and that you have been applying the strategies along the way. Please go ahead and leave a comment. Go ahead and send us a message to let us know how it's been helpful and how you've integrated the strategies. And we love to hear from you. We love your feedback, because I enjoy doing this, but it really, really thrives when, and it grows when you can share it with others and you can share it with me to let me know how it's touched you, because then that gives me much more insight into how can I continue to serve you and how can I continue to generate impact. Environment of positivity. You all know that I'm a big positivity proponent. It is the work that the Dr. Didi Dynamo platform has been built on. And when you are in a workplace or in a classroom, and this series, an ecosystem of learning, applies to any environment where there is learning. And because we are all lifelong learners, these strategies apply across the board, whether it's at home, whether it's at school, whether it's at work. It comes into play and can be applied and brought into practice in any situation where there's learning occurring. And so creating an environment of positivity, especially in the classroom and certainly at work, creates an amazing opportunity for kids to learn. It creates a place that's warm. It creates a place that's full of encouragement. It creates a place that's lively, where kids love to show up, where they feel as if there's a safe environment where they can ask questions, where they can share their ideas, where no question is ever too stupid, where they never feel intimidated in the environment, that they don't feel comfortable asking a question. They feel that it is an environment that they look forward to showing up every single day. Students enjoy learning. They develop a love of learning. They develop an ability to be, feel a sense of liberation where they can compare their differences, they can compare their commonalities, they can feel comfortable approaching things in multiple different ways and understanding that there's no judgment in that. It gives a feeling of confidence. A positive classroom is a classroom in which there's a lot of confidence, and it is a classroom that really stimulates the desire to dig deeper, the desire to learn more. What does a classroom or an work environment look like where there is not that feeling of positivity? And I have to tell you, in so much as I've done the work of positivity related to the classroom, I've actually encountered this in my own work environment, where within our practice, having to make sure that everyone comes to work prepared to do their very best, prepared to serve the patients, because ultimately our patient experience is directly linked to how they feel when they come into our practice. Do they feel cared for? Do they feel a loving, caring, lively environment that recognizes that they have a problem and that we are committed to providing a positive environment to help solve that problem? And so for my staff, I've had to be very conscious about creating a culture of positivity so that when our medical assistants or our front desk administrators or our managers come to work, or our residents or fellows come to work, they are excited about being there, and they feel supported, and they feel a warmth and an encouragement that really motivates them to show up every day to do their very best for caring for those patients. So an environment that does not have a culture of positivity is an environment that just feels dull. It feels hopeless. It feels as if you don't even want to show up. You're not excited to be there. As a result, you're less productive. As a result, there is a lot of dysfunction. As a result, there's a lot of discord. As a result, there is a hierarchy that does not support growth. And there is a lack of recognition for the value that people bring, that everyone brings into the environment. And so many times people will feel worthless. And if you don't feel positive and worthless, then you don't bring your best effort. There's a high rate of absenteeism. There's a high rate of dysfunction and poor relationships. There's a high rate of hostile and toxic types of interactions within the classroom or within the work environment. So positivity is a very, very important component. And we, as leaders and teachers and employers within the environment, it is incumbent upon us to create that atmosphere. Now, there are some schools of thought that does not buy in to the whole positivity concept. And that is because they have felt that there has been a commoditization of positivity, and that what it in fact does is ignore all of the challenges that could approach, or all of the challenges with which you can be confronted, and that you just essentially have this very monolithic, unidimensional way of thinking, which is that all is great, all is positive, and that is not sustainable. And a positivity environment is not that. What studies have shown is that having a positive mindset where no matter what the situation is, you're able to convert your thinking to a way that empowers and serves you, really does play out in improvement in your overall health, in your achievement, in your well-being, in your mental and emotional health. There's less depression, there's less dysfunction, there's less feelings of isolation. And so feelings of positivity really makes a big difference in how you experience your life day to day. And what are some of the things that you can do in order to foster this positive environment? Well, as you know from my Dr. Didi Dynamo book series, that the powers of positivity that she works and that she operates on are 5 principles that I think are very, very fundamental to being able to approach your life from a positive perspective rather than a negative perspective. It does not mean that there are not going to be challenges, but what it means is that what is your knee-jerk response when you find yourself in a situation that is difficult, that seems insurmountable. The first principle and the first habit of positivity is that there is always a solution. You just have to work to find it. And even just that perspective of, I know that there is a solution, means that you're less likely to be discouraged, you're less likely to feel disempowered, and you're less likely to feel, I'm just going to throw my hands up and I'll give up. You approach it from a perspective that I may have to work harder, I may have to use my resources, I may need to be more innovative or more creative, I may need to be more motivated. There's something that you can do in order to just reframe what the problem is that helps you to believe that there is a solution. The second habit is that a limit can be converted into the opportunity. So whenever you find yourself, whether it's in the classroom environment or the work environment, what are the challenges that you're facing and what are the opportunities for growth? What are the opportunities for rethinking, reframing? What are the opportunities within that limit that helps you to shift from I'm a victim to I am actually empowered to be able to use whatever the situation is to convert it for my good. The third is, what do we carry? Do we carry the positives or do we carry the negatives? And when we encounter negative things, it is not for us to close our eyes, put on our rose-colored glasses and pretend that it doesn't exist, but it is for us to apply that critical thinking, to examine it, to put it into the context of whatever the situation is, to process it, to extract whatever learning you can achieve or acquire from that situation, and then to let it go, then to put it aside. And that, quite frankly, applies to negative people as well, because ultimately, we want to carry those feelings, we want to carry that perspective that empowers us, that makes us feel good about ourselves. And if you carry a negative perspective that does not make you feel good about yourself, it's almost as if, Nelson Mandela said that, when you carry bitterness or unforgiveness, it's almost like drinking poison and hoping that your enemy dies. And so letting go of negativity is letting go of the poison that will essentially kill you and not the other person or the situation at whom the negativity was either received from or is directed towards. So carry the positive, let the negative go. The fourth habit is to be very clear that none of us is an accident. We are all here for a reason. We all have a purpose. We all have gifts and talents that can be used to bless others. And so let us not forget that each of us is special in our own ways, and that empowers us to come into the environment, showing up every day, not comparing ourselves to anyone else, because ultimately comparison is the thief of joy. There's no one else like you, so it makes no sense in comparing yourself to anyone else, but you do what you're brought to do, what you were born to do. And an environment that supports the specialness of you is an environment that really facilitates this ecosystem of learning. And lastly is just to be thankful, to understand that gratitude opens our hearts, it opens our minds to continued learning, and it helps us to see our life from what we have rather than what we don't have. And so if you apply these habits and you apply them in the classroom, you incorporate them and integrate them into your classroom, into your workplace, you take it home, you as parents within the home have every day a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday schedule where you pick a habit and you make sure that you're highlighting that habit, that you're taking the opportunities as a family or as a workplace or a work community to make sure that you take the time to be able to share in these habits, to be able to have conversations and to make them guiding principles by which you function. What you will find is that that ecosystem of learning will continue to support and advance the development of those social and emotional attributes that really result in elevated self-worth, elevated productivity, elevated ability to continue learning, and ultimately increased success for whatever your classroom or work environment is. I am so incredibly thankful to have you join me today as we explore what an environment of positivity looks like and how this contributes to an ecosystem of learning. I hope that you will continue to watch these series. You will continue to join us. I hope that you will go to my website, www.droneekawilliams.com, and you will be able to find additional strategies and information and tools that will give you even more clarity on how you can apply these principles to your daily life. I'm Dr. Oneeka Williams, and this is the Ecosystem of Learning series. Thank you very much.